Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Troy, and this is part of my video diary as I get ready for Ironman 70.3 Oceanside next year in April. And just wanted to, record my thoughts and some of my experiences as I get back into training again. Just to set some background. So I've been out of the sport now for about 12 years, sport of triathlon, that is. And I have been riding, a fair amount. Every year I do, for past several years, a 24-hour mountain bike race. Not as a race really, but just as a way to keep me sharp, I guess you could say. Give me a goal every year. And I do that solo and single speed, at least the past couple years I have. And that's been really good for me to keep me, focused on getting on the bike once in a while. But I don't do a lot of miles, to be honest. It's just going off a base, I guess you could say, and just experience in doing it. But I've enjoyed it, the mountain bike thing. I've been doing it probably for about 7 years now. And I have been enjoying it, but I haven't felt an urge to be competitive with it. It's more just to keep me in shape and doing things and, riding the bike, but with no real structure. But if you know me well, you know that when I get serious about racing and competition, that's where structure comes into play. And so I'm getting ready for this half Ironman. And, again, 12 years off from the sport, dabbling, once in a while I get back into swimming for like a month or two, and then I stop, and I might get back into running for a little bit, but then I stop that. So I'm trying to put it back together with a busy schedule, family life, professional life. As some of you may know, I'm not in the fitness industry right now after basically my entire career in fitness and sport. I do executive coaching and business consulting and leadership training, and I have my own business, and that's growing, and I'm putting a lot of energy into that to make it grow. I really enjoy it, by the way. But it's very different than being a sports coach or being an entrepreneur in that coaching world or the endurance training world. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that later. But going back to the training piece, so I've been getting back into it, and I'm going to say my stage right now is training to train, or in other words, exercising to get ready to train more seriously with more structure. So I'm doing a lot of easier base work and just getting out there and doing aerobic intensity for the most part, slow stuff, nothing really intense. And I think that's probably the best approach, because at the age of 53, I'm finding that, and after the layoff, all these different components coming together, it's not easy. And again, I've mentioned this before, but I've been humbled a lot. And I'm curious to know what you're experiencing, if you're an aging athlete and you're getting back into it, or maybe you've been continuing to train. Actually, I wish I was. I wish I would have continued to some level of consistency in all three sports: swimming, running, cycling, because I feel it would be a lot easier. But it's tough to get back into it, and I'm being humbled every day with that. So anyway, this past week, which I haven't really done a blog, I didn't do a lot of running. I think I ran twice, a couple miles each time. I've continued with my strength work at least 2 days a week, so I'm happy for that. And I feel like that's a really important part of training right now as an older athlete, continue the strength piece. And not trying to bodybuild, just trying to maintain strength and fitness in that regard. But this week I did get on the bike a fair amount and did some hour and a half and even two 2-hour rides. You can check my Strava in the past couple days in a row. And what I'm recognizing is I'm getting my legs back, and I'm starting to rebuild that aerobic base. And it feels interesting. It's not fast. I mean, it's still kind of a miserable slog to be out there for 2 hours. And the Tucson heat's not helping. I mean, we're finally getting cooler weather, but cooler weather means 98 degrees. When it's 105 degrees, it's just miserable. But I feel like the weather's starting to get back to where we need it to be for better training. But in any case, I feel like my heart rate doesn't go up as high at the same output. I feel better on the bike. I feel like my form is coming back, like my spin is more supple and more efficient. You know, all the things we talk about in the Spinnerville videos. It's coming back to me slowly but surely. And I also feel like, and I remember back in the day when I used to train and race competitively, I always felt like the bike was the foundation for my overall fitness, even the run. Never a huge run volume person either, but the bike contributed to the run. You know, I always used to say the bike sets up your run, and I feel like that's still true. So I'm going to continue to focus on the bike, and I'm going to do the Tour de Tucson again this year. Last year I did it on a mountain bike, and I'm going to do it again this year. It's a 100-miler on a mountain bike, so that's in about 7 weeks or so, November, late November. So I'm kind of getting ready for that, and I got my head on trying to get ready for it and get my postural muscles back into shape, and all the, even sitting on the saddle, you know, my sit bones are sore, and you know that area is, pardon me, torn up right now from spending time on the saddle. My neck is sore, my hands are sore, all these things that you have to get used to when you start riding a lot again. But it's coming back together. So again, I'm curious to know your experience, but overarching, my concept is spend more time on the bike. I haven't swam for a couple weeks. I'm going to get back into that. I'm going to try to be more consistent with my running, but kind of focus on the bike a little bit more as I prepare for the Tour. And then, oh, by the way, I did sign up for 24 hours in February, solo, single speed again. So I'm going to do that thing. It's an awesome day. But when I'm out there, I'm like, what am I doing this for? This is so stupid because it sucks. But it's awesome at the same time. Can you explain that? I don't know why my brain works that way. But yours does too if you're watching this. So we're the same. We're the same. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching and for staying in touch and following my progress. If you have any words of wisdom, please let me know. Make comments. Love to hear from you. All right. Have a great night.